Okay, so a day or two ago, I posted a video about secrets and tips to waxing a car. Obviously, I was referring to spray waxes or spray sealants in particular, because I feel that paste and liquid waxes are best applied by an orbital polisher because you get better coverage, it's thinner, and it's more complete. However, it's not a good idea to use a spray sealant with an orbital polisher because it puts it on too heavy and very inconsistently, makes it difficult to remove and difficult to get an even coating. I know originally when I'd said about using spray waxes, I mentioned using an applicator pad like this one. It's foam covered with microfiber. Since then, I have changed my mind. I found a better way. I'd said that microfiber towels will absorb too much product and cause waste. However, I've found some microfibers that are about half the thickness of a standard microfiber towel, and they are smaller in dimensions. And the amount of product that is left in the towel after waxing the car is probably close to what's left in one of those hand applicator pads. To show you one of the differences, I'll place my hand over the applicator pad, and you can see that my whole hand covers it, as well as my fingers are left exposed to the paint of the car, which, your fingernails or whatever could touch the car, could cause scratches. Now with the folded microfiber pad, that's folded twice, so it's a quarter the size it normally is. When I put my hand down on that, my whole hand is covered by the towel. Nothing but the towel will touch the car. So take this one, put it back in the bin, use it for like door jams or something else. And we're going to be using the microfiber cloth to apply the wax. Once again, I'm using Turtle Wax Hybrid Solutions graphene infused flex wax. It'll be about the fourth coat this car has. Unfortunately, I don't do many cars other than my car and my wife's Escape, so they're the ones you see most often. What I will do is I'm going to do a section of the car to demonstrate my technique, how I do it. And then I'm going to pause the camera. You don't really need or want to see me waxing the entire car. It would just bore you to death. So I will do a section, pause the camera, and I will also be running a stopwatch just to show how long it takes for me to go around this entire car, windows included, and apply the wax. Now, I just do have to remind you that I am slow. I am in no hurry for anything anymore. My job was rush, and that burned it out of me. So now I take my time and enjoy the things that I do. I will be starting the stopwatch about a second or two before I start applying the wax, so you will get an accurate time frame of how long a car the size of a Camaro should take you to coat in wax. Okay, the stopwatch has been started. I'm going to pick up the towel. And per the instructions, I've already shaken the flex wax very well, because it does say shake before use. They also say apply 1 to 2 sprays per panel. In case of the hood, it would be like half the hood or a quarter of the hood. You would apply 2 sprays directly on there. Myself and many other detailers feel that this is not the most efficient way to do it. It puts it down unevenly. You're going to get real thick spots, real thin spots. So your best bet is to use the microfiber towel applicator. Now, since this applicator is completely dry, there's no product on it at all, I will probably start off with 4 sprays. Then once the towel has been primed, has a decent amount of product in it, 1.5 sprays are going to be more than enough to do another panel, such as the fender, the door, or half the roof. I like to start at the edges, make a line around the edges, and then do the fill in the center. Okay, and that's all there is to it. That took me, along with the explaining, 2 minutes and 17 seconds to do half the hood. I'm going to pause the camera now. If it doesn't stay paused long enough, I'll just have to edit a couple different videos together to make it one. I will be back when I'm done with the car and have a time that it took me. Okay, so the entire car is now covered. The timer reads 15 minutes and 6 seconds. That is to completely coat every bit of paint, including the front and rear bumper covers, the mirrors, all the glass, and anything else that's supposed to be waxed. 15 minutes. Like I said in my last video, the days of heavy polishing, hand rubbing, and hard wiping are done. Now I'm going to pause it again while I get ready, and I'm going to restart the timer to see how long it takes me to remove everything with the two-step removal. Damp towel followed by dry towel. I expect that might take a little longer because there's two wipings involved, not just applying the wax. You have to wipe the wet towel over to break down the majority of the residue. The dry towel is to buff it to completion. After that, I'll show you the what I call the last wipe. Be right back. Okay, now for the removal. I'm going to start the timer. I've got my wet towel. You want it wet, not dripping wet, but not just barely damp either. I've also got a bucket of clean water close by in case the towel gets too dry. You wipe it just the way you did when you were applying the wax to break up the majority of the residue. You follow it with a clean dry towel that you can see propped up against the windshield. Just to let you know, I have 3 of those towels ready, because if those dry buff towels become damp, they won't remove the wax properly and you will get streaks and smears. So just keep a couple of them on hand just in case. Okay, you did see me go over the hood twice with the damp towel. That is entirely my fault because I put the wax on too thickly. These modern waxes and sealants do not need to go on very thick at all. Thinner is better, especially when you're working by hand. So I did have to go over it a second time. You'll notice that I also took the dry towel, went over the hood, flipped it to a completely dry side, and buffed again. That's what I'm going to do to the entire car now. I'm going to shut off the video, but keep the timer going. The hood took me just over 3 minutes. Okay, I stopped the timer. 29 minutes, 11 seconds. And like I thought, it did take me longer since I did have to do twice the wiping. One wipe with the dry towel, and then a couple of wipes each panel with the dry towel to buff off the water wax mixture that was left behind. I did have to use 2 of the 3 towels because the first one got too wet after doing the hood, roof, and trunk, the windshield, and the back window. It only took 1 towel for front, back end, both sides, and the side glass and mirrors. Now, I probably could let you watch in real time the dry buff or the final wipe, but I don't see much point in it. Once again, I will show you on the hood since it's right here. It's the easiest scene. But the final buff, the final wipe is important. Most people don't do it. A lot of people don't know about it. And even some that know about it still don't do it. Because since you're dealing with water and wax in a mixture with the wet wipe, the water may evaporate cleanly, but any wax residue will not. So that will end up looking like a streak or a high spot or a smear. But it will be thin enough that a clean, dry towel, and I know I said I do like these extremely plushy soft towels. On a black car and on glass, they are not ideal because they can and sometimes do leave lint. 99.99% of the people out there would never see it. A detailer who is looking over the car and being critical, or the person who did the car themselves, will see it. So I'll give you a quick shot of the final wipe on the hood. Move the camera a little bit. And the driver's fender. Most of the driver's fender. So you know just exactly what I'm talking about. You want to fold this towel again twice. So it's a nice, soft, plush pad. You don't want a lot of pressure, but you don't want to just let the weight of it. You need a little, I'd say moderate pressure on there to remove any streaking or smearing that I guarantee, especially on a black car, is there somewhere. This will avoid the dreaded, oh, you missed the spot, by people walking by that have no clue or sense of humor. So give me a second. I'll do the hood and the fender, shut you off, and then I'll load this up, and please let me know what you think. Okay, that's all there is to it. I would say medium to heavy pressure on the towel. The car is very slippery right now because of the flex wax. There's nothing on it. You're not going to be grinding any debris or grit into the paint and causing scratches and swirls. I would suggest that you start at the top. And like on my car and most cars, unless I'm on a ladder, I open the doors to do the roof, simply because by this point, I'm sweaty. And if I do the roof without opening the door, that means my sweaty shirt and shorts press up against the polished paint and leave more smears and swirls that I have to deal with. So by opening the doors, that completely eliminates that. Then I close the doors, do the door itself, and keep moving. Y'all have a good one, and please comment.